Hey, Pelviflow community. It's me again, Dr. Qualls, owner of Quality Touch Physical Therapy and Wellness, which is a holistic physical therapy and wellness company out of the DC metropolitan area. We provide a variety of services, including pelvic floor physical therapy, birth support, yoga services, meditation, wellness services. If you're interested in connecting with us, feel free to go to our website, qualitytouchpt.com, or you can follow us on all platforms at qualitytouchpt, as well as exo.pelviflow. All right, so today I'm coming to you all with this Pelviflow for digestion and bowel regularity. As a pelvic floor physical therapist, I treat a lot of clients who have bowel issues, particularly with relation to constipation, with hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and a slew of others that are related to the opposite effects. So this particular flow is going to be geared toward those who have a hard time with releasing their bowels and or digestive discomfort. Now, again, like always, I always suggest that if you are new to yoga, please contact your medical provider to ensure that yoga or any other modality is going to be right for you. Otherwise, I'm going to jump right into this pelvic flow and hopefully you'll enjoy it. All right. Now, I invite everyone to come to a comfortable position of your choice. You can join me in seated pose, seated easy pose, or you can lie on your back or any position that feels comfortable for you, because we're just going to first just tap into a still moment. Now, first, let's go ahead and settle our energy down. Let's release any tension, shake out any additional areas that are holding a little bit of stress. If you're seated like me, I want you to make sure you're sitting on your sit bones and not your tailbone. We always want to support our spine by sitting up nice and erect. So feel free to just separate the buttocks a little bit. Ensure that you feel that connection between your sit bones and your mat or your surface. And then sit up nice and tall through your spine. Release your upper trap muscles. Feel free to close your eyes or settle in to a relaxed state. As a representation of grounding, feel free to place your palms downward onto your thighs or onto the mat. And begin to transition into this present moment, leaving behind anything that was before so that we can be present for this pelvic flow sequence. Begin tapping into your natural breath, not changing anything up, simply just breathing in and out at a pace that feels natural to you. Begin to notice your breathing as the air flows in and out of your nostrils. You may notice the speed in which you're breathing. Is it fast or is it slow? The depth of your breath. Is it deep? Is it shallow? You may even notice the temperature of the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. When you inhale, you may notice a cool air coming in. And as you exhale, you may notice a warmer air. And you may notice none of those things, and it's totally fine. These aren't moments to critique ourselves. These are just moments to take inventory so that we know what our baselines are and that we are able to use these as a measure of making small adjustments throughout the remainder of our flow. Now, as we settle into our flow, I want to start with a breathing sequence called alternate nasal breathing. This particular breathing sequence is helpful for a variety of things, and one is for releasing stress and tension. So, with our alternate nasal breathing, we're going to be doing a sequence of breathing into one nostril while we are holding the other nostril closed. If you have any type of allergies or nasal issues or even any significant breathing issues, feel free to more so use visualization or just do a modified variation of this so that you are not putting yourself in any level of distress. For all others, on our next breath, I want you to take the thumb of your right hand and we're going to place that thumb against our right nostril so that we gently plug it. We're not pressing hard, we're just gently closing the nostril. If it's not comfortable for you to use your thumb, you can also use any other finger so that you are plugging that right nostril. Now, from here, we're going to take a slow inhale through our left nostril. Now, you're going to hold, briefly plugging both nostrils, and then releasing the thumb from the right side. You're going to exhale out of your right nostril. Keeping that left side plugged, we're going to breathe in through the right, plug the right, release the left, and exhale through the left. Again, inhale, plug, exhale. Continue that at your own pace, slowly allowing the air to flow in and out of the opposing nostrils. Not forcing, just simply breathing. Aiming for about 5 cycles. Once you reached and completed your 5th cycle, return to your natural breathing, releasing that alternate nasal breathing sequence. Now, let's slowly begin to acclimate to the space around us by blinking our eyes open and preparing for some gentle movement. Now, you all may be wondering why alternate nasal breathing for digestion. Well, alternate nasal breathing can be very helpful for helping us tap into our rest and digest system. That's the opposite of our fight or flight. Many of you all have probably heard that analogy of the fight or flight system being the system that prepares us for running from a tiger or something like that. But it doesn't have to be anything that extreme. It can be something as simple as preparing for a very important meeting or dealing with a stressful family member or something like that. So when we feel like the energy in our body is just revved up and we're just so frazzled, or even if we are not necessarily someone who shows that on the outside, we may feel it on the inside. Tap into the alternate nasal breathing. It can be a very nice, soothing breathing sequence to help us revert to a more relaxed state, which is our rest and digest system. That's going to help our body to get the signals that, okay, it's okay for me to let go, to relax. And quite honestly, that's one of the most important things here for this particular flow, is that when we are trying to release our bowels and improve our digestion, we have to tap into that rest and digest system. It just helps support those sequences a lot better. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and hop into some gentle movement. On our next inhale, we're going to inhale, lifting our arms up and overhead. We're going to take our arms and our palms together to touch. We're going to exhale, release those palms down to our mat. Slowly just allowing those fingertips to tap. Now inhale, arms up. This time, palms face. Our right palm is going to drop down to the right side of our mat. And our left palm is going to extend all the way up. Now, if for some reason it's hard for you to have a flat palm, feel free to bring a block under your hand here or something like a thick book, just something that gives you a flat surface, and allow yourself to connect, pushing down through that right arm as you reach away with that left arm. And once you are all the way extended, begin to slowly side bend towards your right side. Now, in this side bend, let's make sure that we stay connected to our mat. We want to make sure we're not lifting up off of our seat, but instead grounding down through our left sit bone, extending through our left arm. And as you do this, you're going to feel a nice stretch along the side body here. Now, the other thing to take note is that when you're in this position, it's easy for us to want to collapse down. Instead, see if you can gently lift that chest up. And if it's available to you, see if you can even take your gaze up and over your head. If that doesn't feel good for your neck, keep a neutral position. Honor your body. This is your flow. One more breath here. And let's release that arm down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release those fingertips down to the mat. Again, inhale, arms up, palms face. Exhale, taking that left palm down this time, extending through that right palm, up, 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 up. And when you're ready, taking yourself over to your left side bend. Same cues, same body positions. Remember to ground down through that right sit bone. You may notice that on this side, you can go a little deeper. You may feel more restricted. Whatever you're feeling is totally fine. No judgment. We are honoring our bodies. Breathe in, exhale, release. Now we're going to do that once more on each side. Inhale up. Exhale, right palm down. Extend. And when you're ready, release over to that right side. See if you can go a little bit further on this side this time. You may even notice that your forearm comes down to the mat. And if it doesn't, that is totally fine. Opening up through that shoulder, release down through your upper trap. Your upper trap's going to want to come up, but you're going to gently release it down and extend through those fingertips. Let's release that left hand, coming back up to sit. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left palm down this time. Taking our right palm up and over, and then side bending over to that left side. Again, ground down to that right. Notice the difference when you go into this second round. You may have a little bit more space. One more breath, and let's release. Now, we're going to prepare for a nice seated twist. But first, since we've been sitting in easy pose for a little while, let's switch the crossing of our legs just to make sure that we give both joints some nourishment. And from here, let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're going to gently twist to start. So take your right hand behind you, using that as a little bit of a kickstand, almost like a little back brace there. The left hand is going to guide down to the right knee. And we're just going to allow ourselves to gently twist, looking over that towards that right side, not necessarily over the right shoulder just yet. As you breathe in and out, you'll notice that with every exhale, your body softens just a little bit more. Let's slowly release back to neutral. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let's twist over to that left side, taking that left hand behind you and that right hand over to the left knee. Now, depending on your range of motion, you may find that on this side or the opposite, you may have had more or less range of motion. Either way, that's totally normal because we often have asymmetries in our body. No judgment. We accept ourselves exactly where we are. Allow your breath to soften. Now, let's go ahead and release. We're going to do that once more on each side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, taking those arms back over to the right side. Right hand behind you, left hand to knee. This time you may notice a little bit more range of motion. You might even be able to take the back of the left hand and gently use it to take yourself a little bit more over that right shoulder. Your head may follow as you gaze over your right side. Breathing in, exhaling out. Let's release and prepare to do that once more on the opposite side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release into that twist on the left side. Noticing the gains that you feel as you go into this twist for the second time. Breathing, not cranking or forcing, just allowing your breath to gently twist you over that left side. Let's release. You'll see a lot of twisting in this flow. We want to get into the torso area here. So gentle twists and various formations could be very helpful for digestion, which can obviously help things get moving. So you'll enjoy a nice bit of pretzeling here. Now, we're going to come into a seated figure four pose. Now, with the seated figure four, I want you to honor your body. Again, I'm always going to say that because we're not trying to model what someone else is doing. We're trying to honor where we are. So for those of you all who may have even more flexibility or mobility, do what feels good to you, especially if you're already familiar with yoga. But for those who are new or beginners or may not have the same level of mobility, definitely take modifications. Use props, blocks, blankets, bolsters, or what you have around the house. You might have some thick books. You may have some whole bunch of blankets. You may have something that's like a strap, anything that feels good to you. Bring them nearby whenever you do a pelvic flow because we want to tap into what's accessible for you and make this your particular flow. Now, before we get into that seated figure four, we're going to gently take our right ankle, place it over our left thigh, and extend that left leg out. We want to make sure our feet are nice and active. So be sure to bring your toes towards your shins in a L shape. Now, for some people, this is good and this feels good. For some people, it doesn't. So if this is too deep, you can even take your ankle down onto the lower part of your leg, not directly on top of your kneecap. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my leg here to start. Now for me, this feels pretty good, but I know I can go a little bit deeper. But before we do that, let's go ahead and breathe in through our nose, sitting up tall, using our hands for support, or even taking blocks and placing them under our palms or thick books. Let's breathe in, exhale out. Now, if this feels good, stay here. If you want to get a little bit deeper, you can either take that right hand and gently press out into that right knee, being careful not to crank or force. There shouldn't be any pain. And you can breathe there, or we can take our hands, pushing our hands into a locked position so that we have a nice stable base, and we can bend into our left knee. Now, when we're in this position, to deepen the stretch, bring that foot closer to your bottom. If you need a little less, take that foot a little further away. Now, be sure not to collapse into your upper body, but instead push the floor away and find your seated figure four. We're going to breathe in, exhale out, lifting up through that chest, pushing that knee away from the body, almost as if you're extending that knee in a diagonal position. Breathing in, exhale, getting into our hips, which is also helpful for digestion because our hip muscles obviously attached to our pelvic floor. So we want to make sure all those muscles are nice and lengthened. Now, if this is comfortable, stay here. If you want a little bit more, we're going to inhale. As you exhale, see if you can drop the sole of your foot down to the opposite side as you come into a figure four twist. You might be taking your gaze over your right side and release. One more time, inhale. Exhale, taking your foot over looking over that right shoulder. And let's release. Good. Let's come out the way in which we came. So we're going to extend left leg down, extend right leg down, shake those joints out. Come off your wrist if you were on your wrist. And we're going to do that same sequence on the right side. Now, let's bend into our left knee this time. Right knee is straight. Take that left ankle over right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Energetic feet. So bringing those toes towards shins, both sides, sitting up nice and tall on the sit bones as always. Now, from here, breathe in. Exhale, give a gentle push on that outer inner knee of the left side, if that feels good. And if you want to go deeper, hands go behind you. Use them for support. And breathe in. Exhale, bend into your knee, finding your edge, making it your own. Chest is proud, it's not collapsed. We're breathing in. Exhale. Good. Now, if this feels good, once again, stay here. If you want a little bit more, inhale. Exhale, take the sole of the foot down toward the right side. Twist, looking over your left shoulder. And let's release. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Good job. Let's go ahead and release, coming back the way in which we came. Now, from here, let's go ahead and set ourselves up for a seated twist, leg extended. So with this twist, we're going to take a couple of options. So I want you to find what feels good to you. So let's all go ahead and bend into our right knee. Right sole is going to be flat. Now, left toes, always going to be active. I'm always going to suggest that. If you have a little bit of crankiness in the left knee, feel free to slowly or slightly bend into that left knee. You don't have to have a super straight knee. Now, always sit up nice and tall. Try not to do too much of this. It's hard sometimes in this position, especially if you have a little bit more in the front body. So you want to maybe take that leg a little bit away if you have a little bit more abdominal pannus there, and give yourself some room. Now, from here, we're going to sit up nice and tall. And we're going to start with a simple twist, taking just the palm of our hand. Take the palm of your hand and wrap it around your right knee. Then twisting, using your right hand as a support, you just can slowly twist, looking over your right shoulder. Here, you're going to be getting a little bit more stretch along that IT band, that outer hip, as well as twisting through the torso, which obviously is supporting digestion, helping get things moving and flowing. Some people notice during these flows that you may have some gas built up that wants to release. Go ahead and let it release. It's better out than in. Now, you can stay here if this feels good, or you can hug around your knee, or you can take the outer elbow and twist. Whatever feels good to you. Be sure to press down through that backhand, ground down through that right foot. Keep the toes nice and active and use this elbow to help gently twist you over your right side. Let's release. Extending our right leg out. Let's go ahead and bend into our left knee. And we're going to do that same sequence on the left side. Now, you know what your options are. So feel free to choose your options, either your palm of your hand, the crook of your elbow, or the outside of your elbow. Now on this side, this is my restricted side. So I'm going to do a modification and just use the outer hand. I'm going to take my outer hand and gently use my left hand to create stability as I twist, looking over my left shoulder. One more breath. And slowly release, extending that leg all the way back down. Now, we are going to come down to our backs. And can you all guess what we're going to do next? You got it. More twisting. So, as you prepare to come down, you can either lower down with your legs straight, or you can take your hands behind your thighs and lower yourself down one vertebrae at a time. And in this position, I'm going to invite you to use some props. If you have like a bolster or blocks, you may want to bring those nearby because it could be helpful for supine twist. So I'm going to bring one of these nearby. I may swap it out for something different, but we'll see. Now, in this position here, let's go ahead and bend into our left knee. Sole of the foot is flat, keeping some energy in that right leg, toes to shin. Let's bring our left knee in toward our belly. You may find a gentle stretch along the back of your buttocks and your glutes, your low back. And we're going to just breathe into that space, slowly and with control. Now, gently with your right hand, take your right hand on the outside of your left knee and gently allow your right hand to guide your body over into a twist. Now, if you are restricted into your hip and your side body, you might take something like a bolster block or any soft support to allow a little bit of grounding with that inner knee. So I'm going to take my knee over to connect with my prop so that I'm not holding my leg up. And that also allows me to rest into this release position and get a little bit more lengthening along the left side body, the left buttock, and even the left lower back. Your opposite hand can be in a cactus position. It can be in a half T, or you can rest it on your side body, whatever feels good to you. Your gaze can be up toward the ceiling, towards your right, or you can take it over toward the opposite side to get a little bit of neck range of motion as well. And let's just breathe in and out here. Allow your exhale to soften. Feeling that release through that left side body. Now let's slowly release, allowing ourselves to go back on our back flat. We're going to extend that left leg down. If you used props for that, shift your props over so that they are ready for you when we take this twist to the opposite side. You may have to adjust them. Let's bend into that right knee and settle in. Just feeling that nice lengthening. Let's breathe. Now from here, we're going to take the left hand this time out toward our outer right thigh and knee. We're going to use that hand to gently twist us. I got a little close there. Now, again, notice any variances from one side to the other. This side for me is a bit more restricted, so I have to honor where I am and settle in nice and slowly with control, not cranking, not forcing. The goal here is to allow a gentle lengthening and a gentle settling in so that we can feel that stretch, so that we can utilize this position to support our digestion. Let's take one more breath here. slowly with control, releasing yourselves back to a flat back position. We're going to prepare to come into a happy baby pose. Now, happy baby, most people are familiar with that pose and some are not, and that's okay. That's why I'm here to give you all the demonstration. We're going to start off with a modification. I always like to show the modification first, just for those that may not yet have the mobility to extend the legs up. So, first things first, let's bring the knees back. You may have to shift your hips. And we're going to widen our knees and take our hands on the inside of the legs. Let the hands land wherever they naturally want to land. Don't try to force your hands to go somewhere. Just let them land naturally where they may. Now, in this position, simply just settle in. Allow yourself to almost just let go. You may feel the pelvic floor release. It may feel really good. It almost may feel like something may come out, like a little bit of liquid or a little bit of solid, but we know that's not going to happen because we have control. But when you release your pelvic floor, when you really let it go, that's sometimes the sensation that you'll get. Now, take another breath here. If this feels good to you, stay here, opening up the pelvic floor, opening up the perineal region, opening up the anal region, and depending on your gender, opening up the anterior genital region for each gender. Now, we're going to take our right foot up, followed by our left, coming into the happy baby posture. And when we're in this posture, you can take any hand position that feels good to you. Your hands can go on the outer edges of the feet, the inner arches, or you can take your peace fingers and wrap around your toes if that feels good to you as well. Whatever suits your needs. I want you to just honor where you are. If that is not accessible, you can even just rest your hands on your ankles or even behind your knees. Okay? Now, let's just relax into this position. Here in this deep happy baby stretch, we're going to feel a nice lengthening all across the pelvic floor. You're going to get a stretch into those deep layers of the pelvic floor muscles, which really help support release so that you can help better let go during our bowel time. You can even use this position in conjunction with some belly breathing or some just deep breathing if belly breathing is not in your practice to help support releasing even further. Let's take one more breath here. Now, let's slowly begin drawing our legs together into a nice wind relieving pose. And in the wind relieving pose, we bring our knees together, knees come together, shins come together, ankles come together. And you can take your hands wherever they feel comfortable. They might feel comfortable behind the knees, or they may feel comfortable around the outer legs. And in this position, let's just use it as a gentle massage for our spine. Rocking side to side. You might even want to take your knees, going in some small circles, moving that pelvis opposite. Always remembering to breathe. And now, we're going to settle in to our final resting posture, our Shavasana. Feel free at this time to take any resting posture of your choice or any final movements that feel good to you. As you come into your final resting posture, use any props that feel good, whether you have blankets, bolsters, blocks, or any kind of items around the house, whether it be comforters, couch cushions, thick books, anything that feels good to you and makes this accessible. I'm going to come to a seated position. so that I can hold the space. But I want you to get nice and cozy. And once you are there, begin settling down the energy, releasing tension. And I invite you at this time to close your eyes or soften your gaze. You might even take a softening of the eyelids, allowing your gaze to look downward toward the floor in front of you, also known as a drishti point. In your final resting posture, I invite you to take the palms down as a symbol of grounding. Begin to deepen your natural breath, extending your inhales and your exhales. And I'm going to guide you through a nice, soothing body scan from head to toe. We're going to use this body scan to help us become aware of areas in our body where we may be holding tension, in particular our pelvic floor and our abdomen, our glutes. Oftentimes, those areas hold a lot of tension. And so when someone does have constipation or all of those variety of conditions of the bowel system that I mentioned, it's really good to know when you may be clenching the muscles, which do the opposite of what we want to do in those moments. Now, as you settle in, extending your breaths, I want you to bring awareness to the top of your head, to your scalp. Almost envision each individual hair follicle. Bring awareness across the forehead, in between the eyebrows, and across the ridge of the nose. And on your next exhale, I'd like for you to soften those areas, releasing any tension. Bring awareness to the inside of the mouth. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Separate the teeth. Relax the jaw. Bring awareness across the upper traps muscles, across the chest, in between the shoulder blades, along the shoulders. And on your next breath, let's soften those areas. Bring awareness to your biceps, your triceps, your forearms, your wrists, the palms of your hands, and your fingers. And on your next breath, begin to soften those areas. Bring awareness to your belly, to your low back, to your buttocks, your inner and outer thighs. And on your next breath, soften those areas. Releasing tension, allowing the body to let go. Now, on this next breath, bring awareness to your pelvic floor, the area surrounding your genital region, perineum, the anal area, the vaginal or scrotal area. And on your next breath, begin to soften those areas. releasing tension that might be held, feeling any lengthening that may be occurring, and accepting if you don't feel that as well. Bring awareness to your calves, to your ankles, to the soles of your feet, the arches and the toes. And on your next breath, begin to soften those areas. Now, take one final scan along your entire body from head to toe, noticing if there are any residual areas holding tension. And as you exhale, soften those areas, coming into a state of relaxation. At this time, I'm going to go silent for just a moment, just to give you some space to release, to reflect. But please know I'm here holding this space for you, and I will let you know when it's time to return. At this time, slowly begin bringing awareness back into your body. Slowly wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing energy into the ankles, into the wrists, making small circles in each direction. Slowly bending into the knees. Feel free to bring the knees in toward the chest, hugging yourself into a little ball, even massaging the spine as you rock side to side. As you come into stillness, slowly with bent knees, lower the soles of your feet to your mat or your surface, and then turn onto one side into a nice fetal position, taking one more moment of restoration. Take this moment and honor yourself for the work that you just put in, not just the work of doing movement, but the work of showing up onto your mat, taking this time for you. And on your next breath, let's inhale. And as you exhale, press up into a nice, comfortable seated position of your choice. And if you haven't already, begin opening the eyes, acclimating to the space around you. Now, let's prepare to close out our pelvic flow for digestion. We're going to inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead. Palms touch briefly. Exhale, taking those palms down to tap the mat. One more time, inhale up. Palms touch. Palms come down slowly, landing at our heart center. And at this time, I invite you to say a few affirmations following me. I nourish myself, and I release what no longer serves me. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide on this pelvic flow for bowel regulation and digestion. I'm Dr. Taya, and I'm excited to come to you each week with the pelvic flows for a variety of pelvic health conditions. If you enjoyed this pelvic flow, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, And let us know some pelvic flows that you may be interested in me bringing to you all in the next coming weeks. Until next time, release into your pelvic flow, go in peace, and be well.